Hello guys, today we are going to talk about layer 4 proxy network load balancer. So as I have covered many videos on load balancer, so this is now moving from external HTTP load balancer to network load balancer, which is a layer 4 load balancer. So this is a load balancing overview which we have covered in previous videos also. So like what our load balancer do, like it distributes user traffic across multiple instances of our application, and these are some features like single anycast IP address when we can use it is used as DN software defined not load balancing, seamless auto scaling, and we have covered layer 7 in our previous videos. So today we are going to work over layer 4 and we will talk about external load balancer only. For internal load balancer, I will make out new videos and we will going to talk about global only in this video. So as we've seen, like types of load balancer, we have application and network load balancer. So in this video, we'll focus on proxy load balancer and more focus on external and global load balancer, in which we try to create a global and classic load balancer. And in coming videos, I will cover this internal and pass through also. So proxy means that it drops a connection once, like if you hit a load balancer IP, it will drop a connection and create a new connection to your backends. In pass-through, it will directly pass your connection to your backend. It doesn't drop or create a new connection. So we can see this is the proxy load balancer overview. It is a layer 4 network load balancer, proxy load balancer, which distributes TCP traffic to our backends in our VPC and even in other cloud environments or your on-premises also. And as we can see, the traffic is terminated at that load balancing layer, and then will be forwarded to the closest backend which is available. So like if you have multiple regions and you try to hit your load balancer IP, so the region which is nearest to you, so it will forward the traffic to that region. So in that external proxy load balancer, we have as of now two main types, and we can say three also. Like first one is global external. It is as of now preview only. This is classic one, and after that we have regional also. So in if we want to use global, we have to always use the premium tier, and it supports IP4 and IPv6, and we have to choose exactly one port. So out of these ports, we can choose like from 1 to 65,535, we can choose one port. And after that, we have internal load balancer. It is work also on the premium tier, and in we will check it out all these things in coming videos. But today we will focus on this global one. After that, these are the backends supported by our load balancer. So for the classic, global and regional. So instance group supported by all of them. After that, we have zonal energy. So some of type like support standalone zonal. Some of support this GC VMIP. Internet energy not supported by like these two global and classic. Serverless doesn't support hybrid. We can use GK. We can use. So we can check out this table to check whether your load balancer supports your backends or not. So, and this is the kind of architecture. So, like traffic will come from the internet, it will hit your forwarding rule, which will be global. After that, it will hit your target TCP proxy, in which we will configure our all that configuration, like how the traffic will be managed. After that, we hit your backend, and backend can be instance group zonal energy in different regions, and we have to create firewall rules so that our load balancer can verify that health of our backends. And this is health check. Also, we can create health check for global. So on that port, like our load balancer will send traffic to check whether our backend is healthy or not. So these are some features of proxy load balancer which we are going to cover. So it supports IPv6 termination. So if you are going to use external proxy load balancer, it supports both IPv4 and IPv6, and we can use any port from this range, and we can integrate with Cloud Armor also. Even we can use SSL policies in the SSL load balancer, and we can use like geographical control where our TLS will be terminated. So like if you want to terminate in nearest to your region, so you can use standard tier, and you can create a regional load balance according to that, so that your TLS will be terminated in a specific region. So this proxy load balancer is kind of two types, SSL and TCP. So we will cover both of them, like how to create this and what are our options. So let's start. Let's go to console and let's start our. So I have some instance template which I'm going to use. So I have created some instance templates. Some two instance template for TCP traffic and two for SSL traffic. So my TCP like instance template work on port 110 and the SSL work on 443. So let me create instance group. You can create your own instance group, or you can just create a VM which supports traffic on 443. I will show you the starter script which you can use. So let me first make create my instance group, and I will meet you after that. So I have did two instance group. So one in US center one in US East one. So let me show you what is the startup script I am using. So if I go down, and this is my startup script. So it will just I have installed at Apache. It is a kind of web server, and it will just give me my host name. So like VM host name which I'm using. So it will just when I do the curl or I try to reach it, it will just tell me the host name. So this is the two instance group which I'm using as of now, and this is my HM VM from the testing VM which I am going to use during the demo. And so you can use that same startup script to create your VMs, or you can use a instance template. If you don't know, I have multiple videos like how to create instance group and instance template. You can check it out. So let's go to load balancing. We will click on create load balancer. So in this, we have covered this application load balancer. We have created multiple videos. So now I'm going to cover this network load balancer. And after that, we will come to this also. First of all, there are three kind of load balancer. You can see like we can use TCP, SSL proxy and TCP proxy. So SSL proxy and TCP proxy is kind of global load balancer. So we will start with that also. So first of all, it will ask the question whether it is internet facing or internal one. So it is internet facing only. The traffic will come over the internet. For internal, we will check out in later on. After that, we have to check the region. It is a multiple region or single region. So if it is a single region, it is a regional load balancer. So we will not covering that. We are right now covering multiple regions. So you just click on multiple regions. After that, now we have two options. We want to use classic or advanced. So I am going to show advanced, and I will show classic also. Only there are two, three more functionalities in advanced one, and you can choose any one of these. So let's go with advanced and click on continue. You must know that is in preview, so it will not in GA. So make sure you don't use in production. So first of all, we have to give a name. So we are going to use SSL, name LB. We are going to use SSL first, then we will choose the TCP. So here in backend type, we have multiple like two, three options. Like we can use zonal network endpoint group like GC or GK backends, or we can use hybrid connectivity like on other cloud or on premises. If you have like backends, you can connect it, but we will going to check instance group first. After that, we have to select the protocol. So I have to like protocol means which kind of load balancer you want to create. So as I've told you, we have two type of load balancer, TCP or SSL. So let's start with SSL only. And after that, named port. So I have a named port name SSL. So when you create instance group, there is option called named group. You can configure that there. So once you type named group, it automatically take the value from the instance group. So if I go to details, and here is my named group, so SSL, and once I type this, it will automatically take this port number. So it is a port name mapping. As so you it is very useful if you want to use, but you can also give manually also if you don't configure that in an instance group. After that, we have to select the backend. So I have two backends. Let's start. Choose first US Central one. After that, see it has taken the port number automatically. After that, we have two balancing mode utilization or connection, like if how much utilization of your backends or how much connections are coming to your backend. You can configure these all things. Click on done. After that, we will get add a click on one more backend, and we will select east one and click on done. After that, we have to check a health check. So I already have a health check, but if you don't have, click on create a health check. Give a name, select protocol SSL, and click on give a name and click on save. It will create a health check for you. And let me select SSL health check. And this advanced options. So like you want to use a session affinity like client IP. So like a specific client will always like try like send traffic to a specific backend only. So like it is kind of affinity. Same client, same backend. You can make it on also, let it off only. We don't need. After that, you can on connection draining timeout, like how much after, like how much seconds your connection draining will start. So connection draining is something like if you have configured auto scaling now, like load is not there and that instance need to be scaling. So what you can do, you can configure a value here, how much time that connection has to wait before draining out. So like if you have configured 300 seconds, so if there is any connection, it will stop taking new connection and will wait until 300 seconds before that specific connection will drain out, like any running active connections. So if you click here also, so it says the number of seconds a draining instance will wait. So like draining instance which is going to drain, for instance, in-flight connections to complete. So like if there is someone user connected to a backend, it will wait for this seconds so that their connections will be complete and instance will not accept any new request during a connection train. So once it will not accept any new request whenever you like there is a connection drain. After that we have option of enable logging. So in classic we don't have logging option, but in this we have a logging option. After that we have this also load balancing policy, which policy use round robin least request. You can, like if you have specific criteria you want to use any specific policy, you can check out these things also. So this is the only two main features which is not available in classic but in advanced, like logging and load balancing policy. Now let's go to front end configuration. You can give a name if you want. After that, there the protocol you have to select, like which protocol, TCP or SSL. So as we know our backends are working on SSL, so will have to choose SSL only. After that, as I told, it is only support premium tier. There is no support for standard support. After that, IPv4 version or IPv6, which supports both. So I have already have a IP address which is reserved. If you can reserve your IP address also, just click on create IP address, give it a name, it will reserve IP address for you. I will choose my IP address. I have a certificate also. I will choose the certificate. If you don't have, just click on create a new certificate, give a name. You can upload your certificate. If you are using Google managed certificate, just give your domain name here and just create that certificate. Once that IP will, once you create a load balancer, there will, it will give IP at the end. Add that IP in your a record in your domain names. Okay, after that you can select SSL policy. So like you can even create a policy like which TSL version it must support, minimum TLS version, and profile you can create restricted modern. I will create a video later on this, but we have options to create SSL policy also for our traffic. So let's cancel it. So we will go with default also. And proxy protocol you can on if you want to, like your traffic, like if some user will hit your load balancer, what will happen? It, as I told you, load balancer will drop the traffic and create a new connection to your backends. But if you want that connection, like IP, like user IP details will go to your backends, so you can create this proxy protocol, and it will send all the details in a header, and from that header you can know that which from which IP the traffic is coming. So you can use this also. So this is okay for you, me as of now. Even if you want, you can create one more front end and use IPv6 also here, and it will assign you IPv6 IP address. Even you can create same thing. So I don't want to use IPv6. So looks good to me. Review and finalize, and I will click on create. So my load balancer has been created. We can see, but it is showing that my backends are unhealthy. So let's go inside that and see why what is happening. So we can see my both of the backends are unhealthy. It is happening because we didn't created any firewall rules. So as I've told you that load balancer will send some traffic to check whether our like backends are healthy or not. So as of now we don't have any firewall rules, because of that if load balancer try to send traffic, our instance will drop that traffic. So we have to create firewall rules. So let's go and create some firewall rules. So we can name it health check, and there are some specific range from which load balancer will always send traffic. So let's choose all instance in the network as of now, but you can choose an instance tag if you want to use in your network. So there are some range which you have to use, like 35.1/16, and after that These are two ranges from which load balancer will send traffic to your instance. So you have to make sure that you have created firewall rules from these two specific ranges. After that, I have to create like 443 port, as it is my SSL load balancer. So and after to I will just click on create and let's wait. So you can see that my load backends are now up. Uh, both are the backends are healthy as soon as I've created my rule. So I can hit this specific. I have so this is my load balancer IP, and I have created a record in my domain name. So if I try to hit this specific, like try to hit my domain name, it will send the traffic to this my A record. This is my IP, and from that IP, I will reach to my backend. So let's try that also. So you can see I am getting traffic from as of now US Central one, which and if I go back to my VM, so this is my uh, VM which is now as not responding to my traffic. So if I try to log in into this VM and I can shut down this VM also, like should not shut down, just disable the Apache, so then it will start sending traffic to this one. So this is our SSL load balancer which is working on layer 4. So as we can see that is working fine. Now let's create TCP load balancer which is accurate same thing we have to do, but we will choose some another port. So let's I will create on 110, so TCP 110. So we cannot check TCP 110 from the browser, so we have to check it from VM only. So I will log into this VM and try to send traffic to that VM. So I will create my instance group. So you can also create, just update the port. I will show my startup script also. Let me first create that. I have created my TCP instance group. So let me go inside my TCP instance group and let me show you what I am going to use for the startup script. You can choose the same also. So if I go down and this is the starter script which I'm going to use, I am going to use Apache only, but this time it is will listen on port 110 and this it will just serve my host name only. So let's start creating the load balancer. So let's go to load balancer. I've deleted my old load balancer which is SSL one. Now I will create one more load balancer which is TCP proxy load balancer. Internet to VM, same thing, multiple regions, classic or advanced. So this is the same only. I've just shown the difference. What the difference? You can choose any of one of these. So let's go with advanced only, and we will continue. We have to give a name. So let's give it TCP/LB. After that, we have to choose the instance group, backend type instance group. Protocol will be TCP, and for the name port, I am using TCP. So for the instance group, I am using the name port as TCP, and I will choose the instance group. This is my TCP instance group, port number 110. And we will click on add a backend, new backend, and this is my east one, and click on done. After that we have to choose a health check. I have already have a health check on port 110. You can create same with the TCP also, and in the advanced configuration we have the same thing like logging and that load balancing policy. After that we have to go in front end configuration. Front end we have to select that port will be TCP because it is TCP load balancer, and this is a premium tier because network. And after that we have to choose IP, which IP version we want, IPv4, IPv6. I will choose the IPv4, and this is my IP which I have created last in my last part, so I will use the same thing only. You can create a new IP or you can choose Emperor also if you want to just doing demo. After that I have to give the port on which port the traffic will come. So I will give 110, and proxy protocol I can even on and off if I want. And there is no concept of security because there is no SSL certificate we can use here because it is a TCP load balancer, not SSL. Click on done, review and finalize. This is very simple one as compared to like our HTTPS load balancer, which is application load balancer. So this is all the things which we have to do. Just click on create and let's wait for its creation. So my load balancer has been created again. We have it is my backends are failing because we have not created a firewall rules which can send traffic to our backends to check whether they are healthy or not. So we have let's go back to our firewalls and I will just add one more port in my previous health the check firewall rule which I have created. I will click on edit and I will just add port 110 here, and I will click on save and let's wait. So my backends are now healthy. If I go inside my load balancer also, we can see that my both that instance groups are also healthy and it is working on port 110, and this is my IP. So I have already have a this IP has been already connected to my domain. So let's go to my Asia VM and just I will do a curl to this my host that domain name, and I will use this port number 1110, and let's wait for some time, it will reply. So after some time it is started responding. You can see if I do curl on my domain name and I use 110, it will just giving this specific US Center 1 QJJP, and which is my instance name instance, which is uh, replying to my request. So like this, if I make it down also, it will then like forward the traffic to this one and let kind of load balance. So we can do anything like if you want. You can try your own also. Yeah, you can just make it down. So like this, we have covered two load balancer, TCP and SSL. So you can use both these load balancer. And in the upcoming videos, I will try to create more on these, like how to create. This is a proxy, like this is a we have used a proxy base as of now, but in the upcoming videos, we will create this pass through also. If you go to there is option of pass through also, and in single region we can only use pass through. If you can see, if I we go to just multiple region, there is no option, but in the single region there is option of pass through and proxy. We will check it out this all, and what are these backend service and target pool. We will see these also, but in that upcoming videos. And like in the multiple regions we don't have anything like this, but in the single region or internal load balancer we have multiple options how to use that. And if you have any questions or any suggestions, you just comment it down. I will try to work on it. Thank you.